Cruisin' on 7, brought to you by Auto Gallery Subaru, located at 609 Winnipeg Street, has an excellent selection of premium pre-owned vehicles for every budget, featuring Subaru's legendary and award-winning all-wheel drive. Auto Gallery Subaru will make your experience one to remember.
Welcome to Cruisin' on 7 with Access, sponsored by Auto Gallery. Today we're at north of Estevan at the T&T Rods Car Show, and we're going to take a look at some of the iron out here. There's a lot of neat cars, some unique cars, and we'll maybe get a chance to talk to a few people and hear their story. Okay, we're talking with Wes Rudy. We're here at T&T Rod and Custom. And Wes, can you tell us a little about your car?
It's a 1934 Ford two-door sedan. I've had it since I was 13, so only about 10 years now, I guess, Dennis.
Yes.
Dad found it up north in the bush, hauled it out, and it was a project to keep me out of trouble, I think, when I was younger. So.
Well, it looks like you spent a lot of time, so you didn't get into much trouble.
No, we had a lot of hours. I had a lot of help from my brother and some people down the way. I definitely not going to say I did it all myself, but I do have a lot of hours into it myself also. So.
Yes. I see your wife's name's on here, so she help with the interior or anything? Or
more the design, Dennis, like your colors, picking colors and interior, and then it's anytime you tackle a project like this, it's a family event, so I got to give her credit. There's a lot of dealing with me and challenges on it, and then finances also. I'm sure we got into her account a little bit on it too, probably at some point.
Well, that is that's a sweet color. That is very nice.
Yeah, it's I'm colorblind, so that's where I had some help along the way with that. So I hope it's a great color.
Yes.
I hope nobody's playing tricks on me.
No. So you also have your brother has the car right next here. The red one.
Yeah. So that's my brother Tom Rudy has that one. That was actually my dad's car from when he was younger. He picked it up in the 50s, and then Tom, being the older brother, or either that or Dad liked them best, he got the coupe and I got the sedan, one or the other. There, I'm not sure. So, but yeah, Tom's kind of the bodyman in the family, so he's done most of the the body work and that, and then the finishing on him. So I'm fortunate to have him around, and both of us are fortunate to have a father that really enjoyed the passion of automobiles.
Right. Yeah, to be able to pass that on to your kids, that's amazing. I come from a family of gear nuts as well, so.
Yeah, it's and it's a safe. It's not a cheap hobby, but it's a safe hobby, and it's you can see the fruit of your labor when you're done in it. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks. Enjoying the show here.
And we're talking to Dan about his 56 Bel Air, and this is one sweet car. I've got a little bit of history with this car because I actually purchased it for my brother back when he was injured in a automobile accident, and we hoped that this would make it into a project that would give him some incentive to keep going. But we ended up turning it over to Dan, and he has done just an amazing job. Can you tell us a little bit about it, Dan?
I think that was about 88 or 89. I'm not sure of the year, but I heard it was for sale. I went out and looked at it. Me and my nephew went and looked at it, and it was definitely a fixer-upper, but it had potential. And my nephew was looking for a car, but he thought that was a pretty old car for him. So I said, well, if I was to buy it, would that insult you? He said, no. So I bought it off of Donovan, and we brought it home and worked on it mostly over the winters and kept it in the garage. Whenever we did have spare time, we tinkered away at it. It was basically all done in the garage in Estevan at home. And we took the body off the frame. Interior was Sayadella Interiors out of Phoenix. And Back Alley Upholstery in Estevan did the interior. They did just the most excellent job I've ever seen on
It
an
is
interior.
very nice.
And the bodywork, I did some of the lower stuff that isn't so noticeable and not so critical, and the Ideal Auto Body did the other body work that was required. I had all the chrome re-chromed. It did come with a 6-cylinder. It wasn't the original 6-cylinder, so I put in a 327, a high-performance 327. It does have the oil bath air cleaner and scripted valve covers, like look period correct and stuff. So,
Yes.
And but I started with white wall tires, the bias ply white wall tires, but they were so rough I went to the Coker radial wide white walls. So I tried to keep it all as original as I could. So
Yes.
it is all back to stock, the stock colors, stock interior colors. And I started in probably '89. I started on it, and I tinkered with it, did all the stainless one winter and this and that, and kind of did one project at a time: the frame, the brakes, the steering. And I think it was '95, I believe, I finally put plates on it. It wasn't painted yet, but I wanted to make sure everything was working good, that I wasn't climbing over the paint job, replacing the motor, transmission, anything like that. And everything worked 100%. So about, I think it was '97, I had it painted. So it's been painted, 21 years now. It's been on the road about 23, and it's been plated or painted for 21 years. It's standing up excellent, really.
Yeah,
So.
okay. Have you done any long trips with it to car shows around, or?
Brandon was about the longest. Moose Jaw. I've been down to Minot, Williston, places like that. So we do get it out once in a while, but not as much as I'd like to. But that's how everybody that has these are. They don't get out as much as they would like to. So.
Yeah. No, very, very nice car. Amazing color. That they had the colors back in the 50s.
Yeah, I kept it the original. It's called Pinecrest Green, but I didn't care for it at first, but it sure has grown on me. I'm sure glad I did keep it.
Yeah.
It the original color. Yeah.
There's something for keeping the originality. No, you've done an excellent job. Thank you very much, Dan. Now we're here with Dean and his Chevy pickup, and can you tell me a little bit about your truck here?
It's a 1949 3100 5-window Chevy half-ton. It's got a 350 small block in it. But some of the restoration work myself on it, done a lot of engine work and mechanical stuff on it. So I found this one down in Montana about 6 years ago. I went down there and got it and brought it back up here. So yeah.
Oh, so it was sitting in the bush in Montana, or was it actually a driving truck back then?
No, it was a driving truck. They just started doing some of the work on it, and it was drivable. I brought it back and then did a bunch of the work on it and made it kind of more roadworthy, so we can actually go out and drive now without. First few trips was breaking down and having to tow it home and all that stuff. But that goes with fixing these old trucks and building these old cars. You got to look for that stuff, tow them home sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you want it reliable, but you don't have to put a $25,000 paint job on it.
No, and that's when the paint isn't the greatest on this truck. It needs it, but I'd rather take them out and drive them than paint them and let them sit in a shop.
Yeah, don't need to drag it around on a trailer, that's for sure.
No, I don't trailer anything unless it breaks down. I got a trailer at home. But when it leaves, it goes on its own power.
Okay. So you went for the LED headlights. How do you like those?
Actually, good. The new systems they got with all the LED lights and that, it works good. They give you way better lighting, way less power. Use a lot less power. So yeah, I really like them. They're good.
Okay. And it looks like you've lowered this a little bit as well. And
it's got a front clip on it out of like a '68 Camaro or Chevelle front end on it, but the ass end of the truck, the back end is still the original frame.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, great. Thank you very much, Dean.
Okay, thank you.
Gallery Subaru, located at 609 Winnipeg Street, has an excellent selection of premium pre-owned vehicles for every budget, featuring Subaru's legendary and award-winning all-wheel drive. Auto Gallery Subaru will make your experience one to remember.
Here we have Lori Gervais, and she's one of the major parts of T&T Rods, and she's going to give us a little background on this car show here today.
The background, we're on 17th annual, so the first one was 2003. That was kind of a whim. Tim and his dad just wanted to kind of display their passion, and it's grown into 17 years later of, I would consider it a community event.
It definitely is.
Everybody's fairly familiar now. We don't have to, we see the same faces, and we're getting to see more and more faces. We've got the 4-H here every year that does fantastic food, so it's a great fundraiser for them.
Yeah.
This year is new with the Hospital Foundation. St. Joseph's Hospital Foundation is here doing more for an awareness campaign, getting the word out there on the foundation and selling some goodie bags and iced tea. We always have the donut. Wouldn't be the same without the mini donuts, Red's Mini Donuts.
And lots of cool cars.
Lots of cool cars, motorbikes, and you don't have to be a car person to appreciate it when you come to see.
It doesn't have to be pristine. We talked to Dan Geddick. His car is pristine. You won't find a better car. There's lots of cars with rust and dents, and people just love those just as much.
Yep, it's all about what you love and displaying what it is that you love.
Yeah, and being able to share your story.
Yes.
How you found it and where you've taken it. Here we are with an amazing example of iron from the 50s. And I have Valerie with me, and I know you aren't the builder, but you are a co-owner, and you put a lot of sweat and tears and some blood and some skin have been involved in this. Can you tell us a little bit about this car?
This is a 1953 Pontiac Chieftain. We bought it last year at Regina Car Show. It's heavily modified. Not the original engine.
LS6, I believe.
It's an LS2.
LS2.
It's an LS2, yeah.
A lot of customizing stuff done it, obviously.
Yes, a lot. Not done by us. It's got, it's full computerized and to go with the LS2 motor. But we've tweaked it here and there. My husband likes to MacGyver many things, and that's what's been done to it.
It's the details that make the difference, and obviously the lowering, you can't drive it quite that low.
No, it has been airbagged, so you raise it up to run it, and then you can lower it to sit on the ground or floor to display it.
Right. Now I've heard the wiring system in here is called a painful wiring system, not painless.
Yes, it is. Its original name is a painless because it's supposed to be a plug and play, but
apparently that didn't work in this case.
It depends on how many owners the plug and play has had as to how much gets wired correctly to start with and how much is left, and then it becomes painful.
Yes. No, it's a very nice car, unique in itself. I'm glad to see that you brought it out to the show today.
Well, thank you very much.
And I believe this isn't your only car, is that correct?
No, this is, I think, number 5 of the show cars.
So an Impala, a Corvair, you have a mixed stable at home.
We do, a Camino and a Cutlass. Yes, we do have a mixed stable at home.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Thank you very much for your time.
You are very welcome.
Okay, Ron, we're here and we're looking at this truck. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, it's a 1977 GMC 3/4 ton. It was bought new in Estevan originally by our neighbor, and I bought it probably in '86 or so to drive to work, which had a gas engine in it at the time. So then through the years, it got wore out. It pulled a lot of loads of cattle, bins around the country, and the motor was shot. So I ended up, I had a Cummins engine sitting at the farm. So I put the Cummins diesel in it, the 5.9 12 valve. And I've been running it for about 5 years now. And like this engine had 400,000 in it on it when I put it in this truck. So it works well, and it gets, instead of the 5 miles to the gallon, it gets 20 miles to the gallon now.
Right.
Mr. Trudeau might be happy about that.
The carbon tax isn't going to bite you quite as hard. Eh?
Right. But it is actually a full functioning truck yet, so that you can still use it around the yard.
Very usable. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to modify some gauges in the hood area and that, so rather than cut my dash apart, I put some gauges on the hood and air intake, radiator caps under one, just because the Cummins stuff wouldn't quite fit in.
Doesn't quite fit, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to put a bigger engine in, you have to drop it from a little higher to make it
Maybe.
fit. Okay.
All in all, it's been a good truck, and I kind of enjoy it now rather than have to work on it all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what a lot of these guys here are doing. They're installing something that gives them reliability and maybe better economy. Not always better economy by the looks of some of these vehicles,
right.
But unique. There's a lot of unique vehicles here, and this is one of them. So we're looking at a Lister diesel stationary engine here. I know a little of the history on this because it was my dad's.